What's good? What's good? It's your boy Micah back at it yet again. I know it's been a minute, and for that I apologize. Just got caught up and got busy with some things, but we are back today. Before I start, kind of want to give a couple of announcements. I teach death magic both in a one-on-one fashion and in a group setting on Discord. This is school I started up back in 2016, August 2016, teaching death magic, and on the 13th of this month, we started year 4. And so, hell yeah, man, just, I'm excited about this shit, yo. I might post the link to my Discord server down below. Yeah. So I'm gonna post that, and if you guys want to join, you know what I'm saying, since we already started, you'll be in a kind of holding cell in the waiting room, so to speak, that we got on there, and I'll get to you and we can bring you up to speed. So, you know, that's that, and there we go. So today we're gonna talk about planar necromancy and how you can get very creative with it in order to do what you need to do with your magics. There's going to come a time in your growth as a necromancer to where the death essence that flows through this plane of existence just doesn't do it for you, so to speak. Because there are other planes, there are other universes, cosmoses, and multiverses, that kind of thing. And the death essence that flows here does not flow in the same way in those other planes. They're not as restricted as we are. Therefore, you have a greater flow of energy, a more potent flow of energy. You can connect to some really fucking real shit. And most of all, you get to perceive the dead without the filters of this plane. Therefore, you perceive them how they really are, and you really feel their strength, especially when they're in numbers. And you really feel how, and you understand how shit can really go wrong if you sick them on a person. So, some of this stuff is already covered in the book Grave Lording by Varvon Brenos. Very good book. I recommend you check it out. But I'm covering stuff that he's not covering in that book, because he kind of leaves you like to your own devices near the end without much explanation. And so, you know, freaking what you have to do in order to freaking do this planar necromancy is first have a good understanding of astral projection. You can astral project through the void, you can soul travel, that kind of thing. And once you have that down, then you're able to just with a thought go directly where you need to go and do whatever it is that you need to do. The important thing here in your astral projection and soul travel, give me 1 minute. Somebody text me something. What you need to understand that in order to really truly astral project and soul travel, you must maintain a connection to reality. Whether it's this reality or the reality of the plane that you're going in. You anchor yourself, you anchor your mind and your spirit to that. That way you can perceive things correctly that are actually going on in real time. This prevents such things as delusion, as fucking hallucinations, that kind of thing, thinking you're somewhere actually projecting when in reality you're just stuck in your body, you feel me? And once you get this connection to reality down, as that is the foundation for your magic, your sorcery, all that good shit, then you can start doing what you need to do and simply go from doubting yourself to working on the technical aspects of this, which is the proper flow of breath, the proper flow of energy. You know what I'm saying? Paying attention and directing your energies to your third eye so you can observe and you can interact and do what you need to do in that planar environment that you're in. Now, what's often not said is that if you repeatedly go to the same plane over a period of time through astral projection, you will start developing channels and pathways that allow knowledge of everything that is in that plane to flow to you. It's like a very subtle transmission of information. You'll start piecing together psychically the layout of the land, where the graveyards are, where the cemeteries are, where these hotspots of magical power are in this plane, that kind of thing. And also, you'll start getting more of a collective understanding of the type of magics that are used in said plane. And then with that, it's automatically going to filter itself in your mind and sort itself out properly. It's kind of like having a separate storage container almost for all that information without you having to do much to really, remember and sort it out, that kind of thing. As your travels to this plane increase, it's going to become more real and seem more real and feel more real than this plane. It's kind of going to take an equal, just slightly above an equal measure, so to speak. And when this happens, then you'll know you have a grounded connection, a grounded anchor to that plane, and you can work in it. And one cool thing you can do is the same visualizations and rituals you would do here on Earth. You can do those exact same rituals in that other plane with greater results, because that plane is not restricted like this one is. You feel me? So it's going to lead to more powerful manifestation. Now, how does this connect to necromancy? Like I said at the beginning of the video, the way the death essence flows in this world is not the same way it flows in other worlds. So you're connecting to a different type of death essence altogether. But because you're up to a point to where you have a degree of mastery over the general feel and flow of death, it's not going to be that much of an issue. But it will be a lot more potent than normal. Meaning, if you were to death hex someone, just like a general organ failure or some shit, and you were to do it from another plane, it's going to be a lot quicker, a lot harder, and a lot faster, and a lot harder to get rid of for both the necromancer and the target or the victim of the necromancer. So with this, you have to have your banishings on hand. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a degree of mastery in working with the dead, because to us earthlings or earth people, humans, whatever, it seems easy after a certain point. You summon them up, you do what you need to do, and you banish them without an issue, right? But over there, you're dealing with an entirely different grade of the dead, entirely, that have full unrestricted strength, sight, and death potency. So you have to put in more will and more focus, more mental energy, more mental power, as well as sorceress power into your banishings in order to fully banish them. It's not because they're trying to be malevolent, you're just fucking with a different grade of energy. And you have to raise your energies to meet the new reality, so to speak. You feel me? Now, how does this go into creativity in necromancy? Hypothetical situation here. Let's say you pretty much mastered your astral projection. You know what you're doing. You know how to go to these planes and whatnot. So you're sitting there thinking, and you realize that there are multitudes of different kinds of dead, not just humans or humanoid either. You have elven dead. You have dead fae. You have mind flayers, ancient beings that really have great psionic power. You could go to those fucking graveyards, raise up an army of them, fucking learn their magics, and boom, your necromancy is empowered in such a way that you'll automatically blow your competition out the water, because they don't know how to do that same shit that you just learned just by astral traveling. You feel me? So there is so much you can do with this, guys. Like, I know on my videos, I don't necessarily go by the orthodox means of necromancy and death hexing and shit, but that's for a reason. Because the most dangerous magicians are ones who can think outside the box and come at you from a place where you don't expect, with a level of thinking and understanding and technical understanding that you don't have, or that you did not see in the same way they saw. They saw the loophole in your technique. They saw the loophole in your system of magic and found out a way to use your own weapons against you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I emphasize creativity and thinking. You have to blend the two together, blend together the left brain, the logic, and the right brain, the creativity and insight, plus the wisdom from your guides, your spirits, etc. So you can come upon new techniques that will temporarily make your practice a little bit difficult, but when the difficulty pays off, you'll be at a whole other energetic level. Now, when dealing with and mapping out planar areas and shit, especially when it comes to cemeteries and graveyards, naturally you're going to get a layout of the land, a psychic image of the layout of the land. But what happens next is you start getting information on the ruling death deities in that plane, the ruling gods, the head spirits, the demons, the whatever the fuck is in that plane. You can start categorizing that and developing a system of evocation, invocation, and possession. You can go into avatar type rituals that work for you, and it will be yours. Because literally, what other fucking magician on this planet is fucking with the kind of shit you're fucking with? You feel me? So the possibilities are endless, but you have to be aware and use wisdom. Just as you gain enemies in this world, you can gain enemies in another world too. And those kind of enemies are a different grade of what the fuck to deal with. Like, shit gets very fucking real when, especially you have enemy mages in these other worlds who know how to do interplanar scrying, interplanar astral projection, who can stalk you, who are on some real apex predator type shit. Because see, the thing for you beginners and sometimes you intermediate necromancers is that we got to stop thinking that just because this shit is invisible and we see it in our minds means that it's any less real than the physical world. It's just a whole other vibration and frequency. It's just a whole other dimension. There's some very physical shit going on right now in these other planes that we can't see, but yet and still is going on. There's some motherfucker being hunted by another mage that's about to be killed right now in this other plane. You have to be aware of your surroundings, my brothers and sisters. You gotta know what you're dealing with. You gotta know who you're dealing with. You have to understand the terrain. You have to understand your enemy, the way they think, their psychology, their sorcery, all that good shit. And most of all, you have to know yourself and know your own capability in order to really survive when you're getting this deep into necromantic work. It can guarantee your victory. It can guarantee your rise. It can guarantee your survival. But if you lack it, it can guarantee your downfall in some of the most horrific fucking ways. And one last thing I'm going to say is patience. I think I referenced this in one other video. Patience, divine infernal patience is necessary in order to fucking really see your shit come to fruition. When you start fucking with the other worlds and these other sorcerers and mages in these worlds, you have some motherfuckers that wait years, decades, centuries, and even eons in order for their plan to come to fruition. So you have to outlast the enemy. You have to have the stamina to outlast the enemy, mentally and otherwise. That's where patience comes in. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. Like, share, subscribe, all the other stuff. If you have any questions, leave a comment. My email is going to be down below in the description. Get that shit sorted out. And till next time, deuces.